Okay, well, we're off to see the statue. I'm not going to keep her waiting. We're going to meet her in the Great Harbor. Names? Where did we get such names from? Many people had a handy naming things around here. First came the Native Americans, and they gave us Weehawken, translation, rocks that look like trees. And they gave us Manhattan, Manhattan, Island of Hills. And then came the Dutch to give us Portland, Hoboken, and Coney Island. Then came the English to name everything else. New York, Chelsea, everything else. If you're on this boat, there's a pretty good chance that you are from someplace else. And if that's the case, an even better chance it is someplace smaller than this place. Well, most places are. And perhaps even a bit overwhelmed since you come here. Why, it just might be that instead of a city that never sleeps, you're from a place where the all-night restaurant closes at 4 in the afternoon. It can be a bit overwhelming. But don't let Manhattan intimidate you. Think of the island to our left is nothing more than a bunch of towns and villages compacted together onto an island, barely 13 miles long by 2.5 miles wide. We don't call them towns or villages any longer. We call them neighborhoods. The villages, well, that's what they were. The people live here for all their supposed Manhattan sophistication, and they think they're so smart. Why, they're nothing more than villagers. If you don't believe me, stop one on the street. Ask him. Ask her. Where do you live? He'll not say New York, and she will not say Manhattan. They will give you a name of their neighborhood. They'll say, well, I live in Chelsea, or Tribeca, or Murray Hill, or East Harlem, or Washington Heights, or a dozen other places. That would be their neighborhood, sure. But in fact, in truth, it's their village. It's what they know, and usually not a great deal more. Now, want an example? I'll give you one right away. Left side, here comes a little village now, neighborhood of Chelsea. Sexy, trendy, fashionable Chelsea. When we get back to walk down the waterfront, 15 minutes and you're in Chelsea. Well then, take a walk on the High Line, a very sophisticated city park made out of an old dilapidated railroad trestle. Structure stuff on the High Line. Rub elbows with the Google boys. Do you Google? Everyone else does. Now 10 years ago, the only Google guy in this town was a sales rep pointing out that Starbucks on West 86th Street. Not anymore. They've taken over an entire building down here in Chelsea. They brought Silicon Valley to Silicon Valley. Now the piers come out on our left. These are the Chelsea piers, built in 1910 to accommodate the great ocean liners of the day. In the 1930s, the liners had gotten too big, the piers had gotten too small, and the big ships moved uptown. We saw a breakaway a few minutes ago. And today, these Chelsea piers are mostly recreational. These piers, bowling alleys, ice skating rinks, rock climbing walls, restaurants, food pubs, even a movie studio. Here at the Chelsea piers, they film the TV series Law and Order. Now, the best example, well, that would be Pier 59, on the left. Easy to spot. It's the one with the steel curtain around the outside. The steel curtain will just keeping golf balls from sailing into the river. It's a day, night, year-round, all-weather driving range. 54 golfers hitting golf balls this Friday morning. In 1912, the pit of the steel curtain was hitched to the White Star Lines. And this is where the Titanic would have docked. If she had made it this far, sinking of the Titanic, front-page news around the world, local news here. On board the ship, cream of cafe society. Oh, it does seem that everybody who was anybody was on board Titanic. Lost at sea, John Jacob Astor IV, sighed and lost the family. Down to the ship went Isadora and Ida Strauss, others of the sea, world's largest department store. Most of those on board that ship were not rich, and they were not famous. They were immigrants below definitely rich. Most of those on board Titanic were headed for the same place we are right now. They were headed for Ellis Island, in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. Very few of them had ever seen the place, but we would. All right, well, that's the left side. Now what about the right side? Well, it's not Weehawken anymore. While our backs were turned, Weehawken has become Hoboken. Hill to your right, Hoboken's Castle Point. The buildings on top belong to the Stevens Institute of Technology, a very upscale and expensive vocational school. 4 years at Stevens on top of that hill in Hoboken has sent you up. More than 4 years at Princeton or Harvard here. On the other hand, you come out of Stevens here. They're waiting for an hour, sometimes in the rain, sometimes to buy a cupcake. who waits in line to buy a cup of tea. People in Hoboken at Carlos's
De la
Bakery.
pullita.
He's better known on the food channel as the Cake Boss, and yes, he does have outlets in Manhattan, but those are for the tourists. No one's passing. Don't know any better. That's what they know. You want the real thing, you come over here to Hoboken by that hill, and you wait your turn, like everybody else. Now, there is one neighbor, just one, that we still call the village. And you turn your heads back to the left, there it is. Greenwich Village. What you're looking at is the West Village, Friends territory. Just off the waterfront, two streets come together, Bedford and Grove. There you would find an apartment building, small and real. And you might expect to find Rachel, Phoebe, Monica, Ross, Chandler, and the rest of the gang of friends. They are not real, and don't even bother looking for Central Parks. It never existed. If there's a West Village, there must be an East Village, and there is on the other side. The East Village has always been a more countercultural neighborhood. There in the 60s, you found the hippies, the flower children. Today, it's mostly the domain of the punk rockers. You know, people with blue spiked hair and nose rings. And that's just the clergy producing people. In the middle of all of this, you would never guess. The college campus, the largest private university in America, NYU, New York University. That accounts for the young people on the streets night and day. One of them belongs to me. My daughter just finished up her third year at NYU. That's why I'm working nights and weekends. I don't know what sort of education she's getting, but it's certainly been a lesson in it. When we get back, summertime, we're going to have dinner where you could be in a better place. This town has 25,000 restaurants here. You can heartburn in 97 different languages. Do yourself a favor. Skip the theme restaurants. Yeah, I know about the kids. We'll buy them a t-shirt, keep them quiet. But this is New York. Oh, for heaven's sakes, head for the neighborhoods. Chinatown, Little Italy. Take the A train up to Harlem, the joint of each other. Take the number 1 train down to the village, go up at Christopher Street. That pier on your left with the white umbrella is the Christopher Street Pier. And if friends really existed, that's where they'd be. Us are going downtown. Oh yes, we are. But we won't get there. But you know what? We can look there and they can't stop us, so let's do it. Left side of the vessel, we're going down towards the World Trade Center number 1. What some folks call the Freedom Tower. Now when I say newly open, I mean for us. It's been open for a while for people in office space. But 3 weeks ago Friday, you open the observation platform, 102nd floor for the rest of us. How do you get there? Well, you're right, that's a crime pod. 48 sections and whoop, right to the top, you know. Well, what then? Then they say you can see forever. Actually, it's about 50 miles on a clear day, but it's quite a view. And nobody will be going to the top of that antenna. Look past the flag, you can still see the platforms. 10 million trains heading west. Pittsburgh, Chicago, Kansas City, New York, Kentucky, Kalamazoo, all aboard. Places west. The descendants. Look about right now. You might well be one yourself. Not even know it. The odds are good. But very soon, between the ship you got off in New York City and the train you climb aboard if you're in Jersey City, it rears up an island blocking your way. It's still there. Look ahead again, just a bit to the right, and begin to focus on the island with the smokestack, the water tank, the building with the 4 towers, and the flag, and when you can, take its picture. Here comes Ellis Island. Ellis Island, an overgrown sandbar, where once the Dutch picnic the English thought pirates from the Carlos. Ellis Island had opened wide the door to America, leading you and your children to a new life. Why did it for nearly 14 million, so why not for you? But you can also wait until the very day that you arrive. Wait until you book passage on the ship. Spend the last of your life savings to make the journey. And on the very day you have fear, believing the worst to be over, that nothing more can stand in your way. Ellis Island can single you out of hundreds of others, pick you out of the crowd, turn you around, put you right back on the ship you just got off of, and send you straight back to the place you just came from. To be nothing personal, the numbers are too big for that. But the decision of the island was fine. Your average stay on Ellis Island, nearly 6 hours. 6 hours you would not soon forget, not likely. Once off the ferry's departure, you were lined up, separated from your families, just roamed in front of strangers, bombarded by rumors, most of them false. But you didn't know that. Yes, my family. He stares at the the ceiling, rolls his eyes, tugs on his walrus mustache. She's straight at the eye. Thinks that she was a spirit he'll take with you to your grave. And he barks. All right, here we go. Next. Stamp your papers. Train station. The island of pasture. Not always. Once in a while. Not all. The door slams shut. 2% where you jumped and sent back. Or even mention such a number. Because on a busy day on this island, that could be more than 100 family tragedies over the years. They record more than 600 suicides. Not for nothing do they call this place the Island of Tears. They came from everywhere, like moths attracted to a flame. They didn't look alike, talk alike, or dress alike. You stood at that flagpole, that was right there on Ellis Island. Watch them come off the ferry boats with a naked eye. You could not see what they had in common. They didn't seem to share anything. But they did. Two things, we know it now. First, they wanted to come. Nobody made them. And they would leave behind far more than would make the journey. These were the optimists, convinced there was a better life in America. If not for themselves, then surely for the children. It was always about the children. What else did they say? I said two things. Well, they all arrive on Ellis Island having first greeting by liberty and lightning the world. 6 years before the first immigrant. The two most dreaded words in any language. Sunday and retard. I've played but a state ever since. The work of the French from the colonies. Listen. Eats and dust. Thanksgiving party. He gave her the body of his husband. Then he gave the statue of 35 with place performing up the nose. She was crowned with 7 spikes with 7 C's and 7 comments. There are chains. She was shackled and slippery. Just before we got here, but watch closely. Walk from the right foot, you'll see. She's picking up that right foot. She's standing still. She's walking forward. The shackles have been struck off. And she is now free. Free at last, according to Dr. King. In the crook of her arm, she cradles a tablet. St. Louis. He stepped down into the long, sweet bridge in the distance. Beyond that bridge, the tempest, the stormy bigger than they imagined. Oh yeah, bigger than they could imagine. Imagine that. Now, squeeze off your last picture or two of the statue, or 3 or 4, take as many as you like. Then seriously, walk downstairs out onto the bow and take your camera with you. Because when we straighten out of this turn, in front of us will come something quite extraordinary. A panorama you will not see anywhere else. Here it comes now. The richest, most powerful, freest of all cities. We're going to turn this full-on boat into a time travel machine. We could take you back anywhere, any place, anytime. The match was about to be in front of you. No pharaoh. No king. No sultan. Figure out who's going to cut the grass. There are changes taking place. That's a new park going on. Empty right there where that white sand is. Park paid for by our former mayor, Bloomberg. And there are some plans in the development stage. You can always check out Governor's Island on the website. This is the time of year when the public is allowed over during certain hours. What are you going to do when you get here? Pretty much amuse yourself. Out of 3, New Yorkers live in Brooklyn. They don't work there, they tend to work in Manhattan, but they do go home to Brooklyn. They also brought some resentment. Many people in Brooklyn did not care. Consolidation, a shotgun wedding forced upon them, and for many years thereafter, old-timers went around calling consolidation the great mistake of '98. Federal Reserve Bank of New York there. You be standing on top
Ya salió.
Ahí en la base.
Ah, sí.
The gold is here. Wall Street's here. You're about to see with your own eyes. The United Nations say, presidents come all the time. When they do, this is where they land. When that happens, nothing else does. We would be here.
Sani verbos.
Wall Street? Well, here comes. To your left, and don't blink. See the little yellow water taxi coming up? Look behind it and look for the one canyon, the only canyon that will have a church steeple at the top. The church is going to be Trinity Church, featured in the film National Treasure. Nicolas Gage. The movie came from that, Trinity Church.
Otro puente. Otro puente. Por de arriba.
Puente, arriba.
Ajá.
On an average day, just 1 hour, 6,000 cars will cross the bridge. But so do a great number of pedestrians. You'll have lots of company. What are you going to do when you get to the other side? There's a lot to do. In Brooklyn, look over here, right at the waterfront, right next to the bridge tower, right side. What looks to be, just in front of the shark, what looks to be a little white lighthouse is in fact no such a thing. It is the Brooklyn Ice Cream Factory. So you walk across the bridge and treat yourself to a hot fudge sundae, then you walk back. You will not gain a single calorie. Well, come into the automobile, you necessitate more bridges, so they go more. Total of 3 on the Lower East River. We're about to pass under all 3 and do it very quickly. They will be in this order. The Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, third and last will be the Williamsburg Bridge. 3 bridges in a row. It's a lot to remember on a Sunday. Well, do it this way. Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg, BMW, just like your automobile. Well, just like your broker's automobile anyway. You might remember we did promise some intermissions. Let's take a little break right now. Get the restroom, snack bar, walking on the bow, visit with your friends, go find your kids. Once we pass under that 3rd bridge, how many left things Gotham City? Well, behind him is Superman's metropolis. Glorious view. I'll come back with the microphone and we will deal with skyscrapers and the Man of Steel. Take a little break and I'll see you in Metropolis.
Pasamos por el puente. Pasando por el puente. Sí. ¿Y aquel?
Mira, por abajo el tren. Y mira el tren pasando por abajo y por arriba está. Ahí veo yo el tren.
Otro de los puentes. No sé. Ay, madre. Ya te estamos viendo.
Qué bueno, mira. Aquí está.
Un puente. Sí, así se siente, como si tuviera una hamaca, así moviéndose hacia el balcón. Y eso que no va bien rápido, que no va bien rápido.
Por eso que estaba, que más de
Before they broke up, Standard Oil. He could buy and sell Bill Gates and have half his fortune left over. Is any of that fortune left over? Oh yeah. Some of you have already been to Rockefeller Center. That would be some of it. And you're about to see some more. Right now, let's turn our heads back to the left, Manhattan side. The lower Manhattan Hall is quite serious. The sunrise. One morning, he opens his drapes. He's looking at the Pepsi-Cola sign, closes the drapes, and moves out. Well, you see, Robert Woodruff was the chairman of the board of Coca-Cola. In your face, Bob. Over
Otro puente más.
9,000 people live on this Roosevelt Island. They work in They work in Manhattan because how are they supposed to get back and forth? You can ride the Sky Car, Roosevelt Island aerial train. Now, no promises, but keep a sharp lookout up above our heads for one of those bright red Sky Cars in transit. They operate in pairs. It's a 4-minute crossing. Who can ride the Sky Car? Anybody wants to, but it's not free. Costs you exactly what it costs you to ride a subway. How do you get on board? Because it is quite a view. Well, in Manhattan, you go to East 59th Street, 2nd Avenue, East Side, a block from Bloomingdale's. Pay your fare, ride over. Pay another fare and ride back. And I think it probably is worth it. Now, if you live in the States, there's a pretty good chance, about 2 in 5, that your doctor was trained here in New York City. We have 175 hospitals, which 25
Sí, esos puentes son así.
are teaching hospitals. A whole flock along the waterfront. Here come a whole bunch. Now, the first one on our left, as we go into the bridge, is not for us. It's for our pets. This is the Animal Medical Center. It's one of the Mayo Clinic for our four-legged friends, training veterinarians to go around the world. But next one is for us. On your left, here comes Rockefeller University, which is the follow-on to the old Rockefeller Institute of Medical Science and Research. It's a teaching hospital. You can get your degree here at Rockefeller University. It won't be your 2-year associate's degree, none of this place. MDs, PhDs, big stuff, that's it, and nothing more. See if you recognize it. Well,
¿Verdad? Se siente como si uno estuviera ahí al lado de del edificio y no en el mar. Qué cosa.
you saw the movie, you recognize the building, oh yeah. It's featured in the film big time at the very end. Now, we're not going to ruin the ending for you, so just make note of the building and then go see the film. Probably have to download.
Mucha gente se fueron para la sombra, cogieron miedo al sol.
Más para abajo, no, pues muchos están en la fila de venden comida.
Ajá, de los
Están en el baño,
alimentos.
para que la fila es larga. Tanto vacío, están todos abajo.
Here comes the building now.
¿Oíste?
Hospital for special surgery. What sort of special surgery? Orthopedic surgery. They're very big on sports medicine. One of their specialties, Tommy John surgery, putting Major League pitchers back. He never gave up the job, he just added to it. Parks Commissioner, Housing Commissioner, Highway Commissioner, head of the Triborough and Tunnel Authority, head of the World's Fair, each one, doesn't matter, both of them, and so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. Now you say, well, that's all well and good, but we are out of town. What that fellow Moses has to do with us? A great deal if you live in the States. In this country, there are 43,000 miles of interstate highway. Every single mile, no exceptions. I-10 to New Orleans, and right around Chicago. I-5 between Seattle and Tacoma, built by Acolyte of Robert Moses. At the end of the Second World War, the country was at a crossroads, deciding between mass transit, which Moses hated or hated mass transit, or highways for the automobile, which he loved. Was Moses more than anyone else who would make the motor car king in America? Which is pretty funny when you stop to consider that like 70% of his Manhattan neighbors, Robert Moses did not drive. He didn't have a driver's license. He was taken everywhere by a chauffeur. We are now being taken into the Harlem harbor, which means the next 40 minutes, the left side is going to be Harlem. Now, Harlem is not a neighborhood, it's too big. It's a 5.5 square miles. Come to this country, and every single one of them said pass at Yankee Stadium. Then there were the boxing matches, 20 championship fights, big ones, the biggest, no doubt about it. 1938, on the eve of the Second World War, motions running at a fever pitch. The most famous man on Harlem, not the world, heavyweight champion Joe Louis, short ride, falls the bronze, German boxer favored the floor got shot. Ooh, right back to the century, you betcha. 2 years before, to the very day, the very same place. Max Schnelling had knocked out Joe Louis in a stunning upset. The world was shocked. But now Joe is a champion. There's a problem in his record. If you had a ticket to the fight at the Bronx, you didn't leave early, you didn't see the fight. Big traffic jam. And in 2 minutes and 4 seconds of the very first round, bam, it was over. Joe Louis knocked out Max Schnelling. There never was a third fight. Instead came the Second World War. And 43 years later, Joe Louis passed away. President Reagan ordered his burial at Arlington National Cemetery. I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, lucky to be a Yankee. 2 years later, we had a name for that disease, and we could. Burning, as we called it, we still call it Lou Gehrig's disease. 2 years later, the Iron Horse was gone. But now, the House of Ruthville is gone. Replaced by, well, look to your right, there it is. Big letters. Yankee Stadium. In your face, Yankee Stadium. Anything left of the old ballpark? Well, look for the smokestack in the shape of a baseball bat with white tape at the top. That's all that's left. The legendary, the once upon a time house.
Bella. Es bonita esa montaña. ¿Verdad? Como que no soy bonita. ¿No?
Agua fina.
Agua. Sí, yo sé que es una marca.
Agua fina.
Agua.
Fina.
Agua. No dice agua, dice agua. Agua. Fina. Agua fina. Es una marca. 4 pesos dijiste.
4 pesos.
Ellos ya la saben, mija. Para sacar.
No le vale a peso.
Y la vende así.
No, para con mucho, realmente.
Mother Nature left her behind. Just a mile straight ahead. Right through Target and Applebee's. Mother Nature left the river behind. Never quite find his way back into the Hudson, just wandered around up in the Bronx. Up the Bronx. It's happened to me a couple of times.
Sí, hay muchos puentes aquí.
People of Marble Hill were not thrilled. They have nothing against the Bronx. It's a fine place and I recommend it. They didn't want to be there and they complained. In a moment we'll find out what the city did about it. But first here comes our tightest squeeze. We're going to have to ooze under the Broadway Bridge. This is Broadway leaving town. Yeah, the Broadway. Here it leaves town to become Highway 9, eventually crossing the Canadian border as Water Route 15 comes to an end in Montreal. It is actually very ancient.
Ah, mira eso, está el tren por arriba. Otro puente más.
We went through the marina the captain called ahead to the bridge, and the Mike is in line. We're on the way. Please open the bridge for us. The Michael has two cities on this bridge. Turn it one way, or Circle Line Boats turns it the other way for Amtrak trains. If we all get here at the same time, we make the 7 o'clock news. Well, looks like it's our
Esas cosas que son. Esas cosas que son.
That little house, his name is Mark. I'll tell you one thing. We're the high point of his days. He's not on the phone. He'll come out way back. What else does he have to do? We will be turning that on you to quickly glance at over to your right. In just about a minute, we'll be on the high point of the valley. The day you see the whole way to the that's the little town of Austin, better known by its short name, Sing Sing. Yeah, it's where the president lives. We'll be it's up the bay, south the river. Well, right now, you're back at sundown.
Sí.
How's this bring it down to earth? Vast expanse of gorgeous scenery in the lower Hudson Valley. Those are the Palisades right in front of us. Sheer cliffs, barely average 450 feet above the water's edge. Keep in mind you're only looking at 2/3 of these Palisades, 1/3 the other third. The water, around the water tidal seawater, slowly opening the Yes, the stairs are closed. You're all stairs.
¿Te gustó, verdad?
Sí.
Up or down, but not on stairs till we get the lights on.
No está la gente con los motetes, la gente.
Ve el barco ese.
Es el grande por la parte de atrás.
Sí, por eso. Ya estamos llegando.
Cuando nosotros nos paramos para mirar los barcos que hay aquí, ¿te acuerdas?
Sí.
Está mirando, está mirando. Pero la vuelta es redonda, ¿te acuerdas?
Wow, sí. Da la vuelta.
Es porque nos sentamos así ya, espera, ¿te acuerdas?
Sí. Ya llegamos. Llegamos.
Fíjate, ¿eh?
Ah, no, porque era video. Aquí se está estacionando el barco.
Uno para, suena para salir, suena para que llegó.
Sí, se está estacionando.
Mira la fila de gente ya, mira.
Sí, los que vienen para el otro lado.
Los que van a entrar ahora.
Está caliente hoy.
Allá está esta gente también.
Bien
como que está
caliente.
haciendo cosas.
Sí. Válgame, esta llena.
Están toditos en el barco, porque estamos toditos obviamente.
Y eso que hay más abajo. Estos son pocos los que hay acá arriba. Y los que están abajo son más.
Abajo, tirados como que estamos bajando segundo.
La gente que hay aquí en el barco. A full.
So far, so good. Now it's safety first from start to finish.
¿Ah?
And we don't plan to lose this one.
Sí.
Oíste, hasta no se muevan todos que están abajo, no voy a bajar todo eso.
Don't go. But don't stop.
Tírame una
Don't stop. Everyone has to stop. Just follow the trail out.
Wow, mira el barco. Miren de toda la gente que hay aquí. Coge muchos pasajeros, ¿verdad? Coge muchos pasajeros.